So let's discuss how system administrators protect us. We know that when we sign in, we send our username and our password. And we know that there's a high likelihood that the password we use is used by some other user on the system. We saw in the last video how when two users have the same password, then the attacker, Lex, can possibly have a 2-for-1 deal, meaning that when he cracks one password, he's able to crack all other passwords that are the same as well. So system administrators have a way to protect us from that type of situation and have other tools to slow down the attacker from being able to crack our password. The first thing that they do is they salt our password. A password salt is a random value that is also assigned to your password when it is hashed in the system. So how this works is when you type in the password, that password that the system receives is concatenated or added to this random value, this salt value, and then the two of them are hashed together. Remember how hashing works. It's a unique value for data. So if the data is different, then naturally it's going to have a different unique value. Even if two users have the same password, since their salts are different, when the salt and the password are hashed together, it creates a different hash. So that stops the 2-for-1 deal. Then we go a step further and we add a little pepper. What the pepper does is it also either adds or removes some characters inside of the password and or also the salt as well. Now, naturally, the salt is stored in plain text next to the password inside the database. Now, the pepper is often stored in a separate database in a more secure manner, so that naturally when we add our pepper to our salted password, we get a different flavor password. So now you're probably getting a little bit hungry here because now we have some tasty passwords. So naturally, the next thing that's going to happen here is that the pepper is going to be unique as well, just like the salt is. So at the end, we can see even though Wonder Woman and Batman have the same password, once we add the different flavors to our passwords, the salt and pepper, it will create a different hash value. So then the attacker, Lex, when he receives both of these hashed values, he will have to first figure out the salt, which often will be right next to the password in the database that he's hacked. But then he has to figure out how the pepper works. Did it add or did it remove any of the characters? And if that's the case, which characters did it add or remove? So this password hash salt pepper combination can look entirely different to the hacker, which increases the complexity of it then attempting to break in with the unhashed form. And the last thing that administrators will do is they will also hash the password multiple times. What this means is that it will go through this process not once, not twice, but sometimes 7 or 10 or 20 different times. Why do we do this? Well, because every time you go through that, it takes time, and time is a factor because remember how Lex has to create all possibilities? Well, think about that. That's over 500 million possibilities. And if it takes seconds to create just one password hash, that's going to take a really long time to get through 500 million different possibilities. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. Please stay tuned for my next videos where we learn how multi-factor authentication works.